Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I'm Blackbright, broadcasting out of England, around the world. And today I'm going to be talking about the Jigger victims, because sometimes we tend to think that because something's happening elsewhere, we shouldn't be interested in it and it doesn't affect us. But in this particular case, 2 million Kenyans are infested with the jigger flea. And one guy, he went over, he's a backpacker. He went to Tanzania. Some people call it Tanzania, some people call it Tanzania. Anyway, he went to Tanzania and he brought back the jigger flea to the UK. So it's not that just because you hear things happening abroad, you shouldn't be interested. You should, because it teaches you to be aware. Now, the jigger flea is indigenous to the Caribbean, but it's travelled to Africa, it's travelled to India, to Pakistan, to Latin America, and it could be heading your way, because depending on who's travelling, and you know, a lot of people walk barefoot when they go to hot countries. They don't know what they're picking up. This guy, Matthew O'Donnell, he actually came back with it in his foot and he didn't even know about it until a week after, when it popped out with 100 eggs. Oh, gross. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that these kind of things do happen and we need to be aware. 80% of children in one particular school, or was it 80% of children? I know 50% of children in one particular school, but 80% of children are infested with the jigger flea. And what this means is that when that jigger flea gets underneath the skin, it buries itself underneath the skin and it lays eggs, and then it comes to the surface like big lumps and pus, and oh, it's gross. You want to look at it on Google. I mean, it will turn you off, really. Anyway, these poor children and some adults are infested with it. It's got a stigma because you can imagine how gross it looks. Some people have to have their extremities amputated. It can even kill some of them. I mean, it seems to be being treated, but the only way they can treat it is really painfully with a scalpel and with needles, and they can't even do it at one time because there's so many of them. Honestly, it makes my blood crawl. Anyway, I think it's important that, you know, you look it up. If you put in Jigger Kenyans, Jiggers in Kenya, it will come up, and there's quite a lot of information. Well, not a lot of information, there's images, and there is quite a lot of information about it. So I think it's best to keep abreast of things that are happening around the world, you know, all kinds of traumas, diseases, because you never know whether it's going to come your way and what you need to look out for, the symptoms you need to look out for, because people are travelling back and forth all over the world. You don't know what they're bringing back. You don't know what they're spreading. And this parasite can jump from anybody. You know what I mean? You don't have to just be walking in the sand. And I don't know if that parasite jumped out of that guy who came to the UK because it was no longer hot and he couldn't survive in the cold. I don't know, but he happened to just burst out of the guy's leg, being followed by 100 eggs. Oh, honestly, it really makes my skin crawl. So, yeah, so that's my short video, just to alert you about the jigger victims and what they're suffering, and to alert you to it. I mean, if you want to find out more, if you want to go in the system or whatever it is you want to do that. But at least you're aware of what's happening. And that's all for now.